Back to your daily dose. My name is Robert here with my pal Paul, fellow dollar baby filmmaker. We're talking about all things King Con, the first Stephen King convention that we were just fortunate enough to attend and present at and be part of in a really fun, dynamic way in late October 2024. One of the things we got to do was show our films, and your film, titled That Feeling, shortened from the full Stephen King short. What is the full title of it?
It's that feeling. You can only say what it is in French.
There it is.
Yeah.
I knew I'd
Which,
stumble the words.
yeah, spoiler, deja vu is really what it
There
is.
it is. Exactly right. Why do that though when you can make it into a 12-word title or whatever it is?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so okay, let's go back to your origin with that. How did you hear about the Dollar Baby program, and then secondarily, why did you choose this story?
The first part of your question is tough because I can't exactly remember where I heard about it. I would think that it was around the time that your film was being made and coming out in the early 2000s, right? The mid 2010 aughts or whatever you call it, mid aughts, right?
That's
So
good.
yeah, it was around that time. I guess I must have caught something online or something like that. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I do remember this. I remember thinking, I am going to do that, but not until I'm good enough to do it. So it took me several years to really get there because I wasn't at that point. I wasn't a filmmaker. I was, my early mid-ish 20s, and I was like exploring creatively what I like to do. At that time, I was doing a lot of music, as a matter of fact, and making albums and things like that, which is a fun little tidbit about me. I was a rapper, in my
Oh, we're
20s.
gonna
Yes.
have to talk about that, but keep going.
Yeah.
I'm footnoting that one. We're coming back.
So how did I select that one? Well, there's a list. There was a list online, and I went through every story and I found the ones that I liked, narrowed it down, and then I went through and reread those again a couple of times, each of the top three or four, and I came to the conclusion that this one was one that I made a connection with a character because I really liked the character was a well-rounded character, not one-dimensional, and sometimes with short stories, there's not a lot of time for character growth. So this one just felt more like a real person, and I thought that was fantastic. And secondarily, it wasn't done as much
Right.
in the past 10 years. So ones like All You
Oh,
Love has been done a lot, and Mute has been done a lot. Not that they're bad, and all the versions
unreal.
that I've seen are great. It's just I wanted to break some new ground, or at least some less
Newer.
tread ground.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Side note, I went and looked at Oscar Garrido's site just to kind of, refresh that. And oh my God, I look at that and he's done such a nice job organizing them. You can see by each title how many have been done, and then some that got the rights and never got made and things like that. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. And I hope to get Oscar on too, because he obviously holds the keys to some interesting parts of this
Oh,
history as
absolutely.
well. Which, by the way, everyone should know is closed as of December
Yep.
2023. There will only be the films that get made by this year, and then that's it uh,
Yep.
for the Dollar Babies, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. I was going to ask you, in terms of selection as well, how much of your process was about? You mentioned the emotional component and being able to character development, all that. What about what I can do? Because you have some difficult challenges in this, the plane, the
Yeah.
special effects. What, and you said, oh, I can handle that.
Uh, you know, the plane, well, first of all, before I ever even committed to or took this on, I was like, listen, I've got to have access to a plane. So I started asking around, and I got some actual pretty good initial feedback. And so the chance of getting a plane was relatively high. By the way, side note, getting the plane was actually the easy part. Getting to the plane and using the plane was the harder part because of all the regulations of being able to go onto the tarmac, for example, right?
Yeah.
So uh, logistically speaking, the effects work. I had a little bit of a background in doing some VFX, and my interest in filmmaking uh, is heavily influenced because I enjoy making and doing visual effects. But I've never done them on the scope that I ended up having to do in this film. There were lots and lots, some from the very mundane and easy, like I just changed the name on this sign, to others where I had to use computer generated assets and build actually build the entire frame that you see. So there was a lot going into it, and it was a lot of like, well, I guess if you'll pardon the this example, you're building the plane while you're flying it. There was a lot of that, you know. So
That's literal, and that is, I think we can say, and it came up in the panel share with everybody. Filmmaking, I think you said it's a pain in the ass. Wasn't that one of your things you
yeah,
said?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it can be. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think you have to know that, and that's part of maybe the respect that brings everybody together. Is go, you survived and actually put one out, because it's true. How many people want to, but never get it? And then how many people get it and then never shoot it? And then how many people shoot it and never put it out? I mean, those are all different stages along the way.
Yep,
So
and they're
maybe through,
completely, yeah, they're completely different from each other too. So getting it and then adapting it to a script is one skill set. You know, making the production happen is another skill set, and then, you know, finalizing it in the editing is another skill set. So anywhere along that timeline, you could fall apart. You know,
sure, and then past editing it, it's then getting it out. I mean,
getting it out. Yeah.
letting people know about it. That you're right, all different skill sets. Somehow it all comes together, and we all look at each other and go, "You get it, okay."
Yeah. Exactly.
We can
Exactly.
shorthand a lot with each other because of that. All right. Well, let's come back for one more. This has been great, but I got to hear about this rap career. So we're going to come back for one more episode. Yep, you brought it up. It's your fault. See you in a minute.
Oh boy.